Hello YouTube, and hello YouTube vinyl community. This is Rob of Spinning Out with Rob, and today we are talking 2021 and the best records of 2021 according to me. Now, 2021 has been a great year in terms of jazz reissues, the classic series, the tone poets, just all phenomenal. It's been a great year as far as anniversary releases like the Black Crowes Shake Your Moneymaker, etc. I don't have any of the anniversary releases or anything like that, but they are great, and just looking at them, and they're well packaged, and they're definitely, if you're into that, something to think about. But I'm looking at new music or music that was not released until this year. So I am including live recordings that were recorded prior to 2021 but not released until 2021. So with that, we're going to start. First record has a Stereolab type vibe to it, and it is Flock by Jane Weaver. And this was recommended to me by Mike over at Spoonful. He's like, Rob, have you heard this one yet? And I'm like, no. And he told me about it, and I looked at it, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'll try it out. So tried it out. Really good record. I'm gonna put this down for one to watch for later in the year. We'll see what happens. Next up, can't really go wrong with Norah Jones live. She's a phenomenal talent. She does all of her hits. She does a wonderful solo piano rendition of Black Hole Sun on this to close out the album. Just a great live album. One thing I will say about this is it was recorded at multiple venues, and therefore I think they leveled the sound so you don't hear the difference between venues as much. But other than that, it still sounds great. It's well sequenced, and they did a good job of picking songs from different shows, and just a really good live album. Till we meet again, Norah Jones live. Next up, we've got a tribute album to Tom Petty by Lucinda Williams. And she does all the hits, she does some deep cuts, does a beautiful rendition of Wildflowers on this. Highly recommended listen, and it's got the Full Moon Fever kind of telephone pole type poster motif on it, and good record. I've talked about this one before, Matthew Sweet, Cat's Paw, and this is one that I'm gonna look for towards the middle and end of the year, being on my list. Just a good power pop, solid Matthew Sweet record. He's back to form. Great record, fun listen, and it's just super enjoyable. Next up, and the shrink wrap's getting kind of messy on this guy, but this is Aaron Frazier. I'll just do away with it and put it in the sleeve later. Aaron Frazier, and this was produced by Dan Auerbach, and this is just a smooth, soulful album. I think Coal Mine had something to do with this, even though it's out on Easy Eye Sound and Dead Oceans. I think they used Dead Oceans to do the distribution on it. But just a fabulous album. Love this record. And if this doesn't get you moving, I don't know what will. Just a soulful, just like I said, and of course produced by Dan Auerbach of the Black Keys, introducing Aaron Frazier. Next up is Sweep It Into Space by Dinosaur Junior. I can't say much about this. Classic Dinosaur Junior. Good album. Original lineup. Lou Barlow's back on bass on this. And they just rock. I mean, that's all. A great record. So, but it is definitely a Dinosaur Junior record. Through and through. So, I think that says it all with this one. Okay, this is an interesting record. Todd Snider, First Agnostic Church of Hope and Wonder. And if anyone's familiar with Todd Snider, he's mostly a singer-songwriter. He is the frontman of a band called the Hardworking Americans, which is more of a heavier rock band. And his last album was the Cash Cabin Sessions Volume 3, which is a very minimalist set. Just Todd and the guitar for the most part. And this he's got, it's almost, well, it is called the First Agnostic Church of Hope and Wonder. And there's a choir, there's a full band, and they're rocking out on this. It's kind of funky, it's just Todd and the band having a good time. And one thing I really look for when I listen to records is, are they having a good time? And they're definitely enjoying themselves when they recorded this record. So, really good record, and definitely check this one out if you have a chance. This is the indie exclusive, colored vinyl, all that stuff. Great record. Next up, Steven Wilson, The Future Bites. So Steven Wilson was a member of Porcupine Tree for a few years. He's had a good solo career, put out a few albums. I think this is his best effort yet. It's his strongest songs, just a great song album, very well produced. And Steven's been producing a lot of 5.1 remixes for other people over the last few years, and just a wonderful album. I called the record store RPM, and I'm like, because I could not find this anywhere, I'm like, do you guys have a copy of The Future Bites? And they're like, we got it, we'll set it aside for you. And I'm like, awesome. So I've had this one and just really been enjoying this, and I had to track this one down because I really wanted it. But great record, and there's a really nice book with it too. So The Future Bites, Steven Wilson. Legacy Plus by Made Kute and Femme Kute. And this is just a wonderful world music Afro pop record. It's very politically charged. It's fast paced. There's a lot of horns, drums, very little guitar, but when the guitar chimes in, it's killer. There is a killer guitar solo. I'm not sure what song it's on, but I've listened to it a few times, and this thing is just amazing. So I highly recommend this record if you're into world music, Afro pop, just good music in general. This is a good record, and like I said, they don't hold back. They just wear their feelings on their sleeves and let them out, and the music does the talking. Just wonderful. Great record. Good stuff. So, Legacy Plus. Alright, this one is on the turntable. This is Creststone by Animal Collective. And Animal Collective is hit or miss with me. I love Merriweather Post Pavilion. Some of their other albums I just don't get. But this album brings back those wonderful soundscapes of Merriweather Post Pavilion. But it's almost all instrumental. It is a soundtrack to a film, and there's hardly any vocals, if any. What vocals are on here might be from the film itself. I haven't seen the film, so I don't know. But just wonderful soundscapes and sound effects, and just a really cool soundtrack. So Creststone by Animal Collective. Okay. Next one I've talked about before. This is Painted Shield. And Painted Shield is Stone Gossard and Mason Jennings and I forget the name of the drummer, Chamberlain, but last name at least. And just a wonderful pop rock record. It's got a really good vibe to it. I've been listening to this one all day on repeat while I've been working. Just a cool record. Yes, I was listening to it on digital, on Tidal, but yes, this record is killer. And it's a very short record, but it's amazing what they were able to do outside of a studio, just never even being in the same room together, passing files back and forth, and they put this record together, and just a great record. So I'm watching out till the end of the year for this one. Now this one, I am almost positive this will be on my list at the end of the year, unless there's a ton of wonderful records that come out. But this is First Aid Kit's tribute to Leonard Cohen, Who by Fire. And just a wonderful record. I mean, this was recorded back in 2017, and they just do a great tribute record. Even Hallelujah, which has been covered by many, many people and covered very well, they make their own. And they really pay homage to Leonard Cohen. There's some spoken word poems on here. Just the whole thing, the whole is much greater than the sum of the parts in this particular record. This record is just one of those records that you can listen to over and over again and just never get tired of it and hear something new each time. I really wish I happened to be at that performance back in 2017, but it was probably not in Columbus, Ohio, that's for sure. And just a great record. This one is fabulous. The whole thing. I mean, Suzanne to start it off, it goes. You got to hear this. So, if you can listen to it online, check it out. Really good record. And in fact, when I bought it, I had it special ordered, and Brett, the owner of the record store, asked if he could borrow it for a few days and hear it, because he's a big Leonard Cohen fan. So I said, yeah, of course, no problem. So I got a little bit of on it, and a couple bucks off for that, for letting them listen to it in the store, and I'm sure a few other people ordered it because just a wonderful record. And I can't say enough about this. This is definitely, I will be super surprised if this is not on my list at the end of the year. So another tribute album. The first tribute was Tom Petty. This is Leonard Cohen. So there you go. And the last record for 2021 so far is this behemoth, Neil Young and Crazy Horse, Way Down in the Rust Bucket. It's a 4-record set, 3 shows from, I believe, 1990. Just a phenomenal record. When I talked about having fun earlier, you can tell when they were playing, they were having a blast on stage. This is a great record. They are jamming out, they're having fun, and that fun translates over to you, and you can hear that enjoyment, and it's a super enjoyable record. Musically, it's great. Song selection is great. It's 4 records that sound amazing, part of the Neil Young Archive series. And you know, Neil doesn't mess around. When you see that NYA on the spine, you know you're getting the record that sounds darn good. And this one does not disappoint. Way Down in the Rust Bucket by Neil Young and Crazy Horse. So that does it. Those are my favorite records so far of 2021. And like I said, we're only 1/4 of the way through. So we've got, 3/4 left. So I'm going to do a mid-year best of, and I'm going to do probably a year end. Maybe skip the 3rd quarter, but I don't know. We'll see how it all plays out. We'll play this by ear. But so far, there's about 4 of those that I think have a good chance of hitting my year-end list. They're all really good records, but when it comes to best of the year, it's a whole different category. So keep listening, keep spinning records, visit your local record store. They help you find stuff, they point things out, they can special order stuff in for you, just like that Leonard Cohen first aid kit. And enjoy the music. And if you like this video and you want to see more, please go ahead and subscribe, ring that bell, and leave comments. And I'll even challenge you, make a video, your favorite albums of 2021. And that's it. Thank you for watching. Goodbye, and enjoy your day. Spinning Out with Rob is signing off.